All right, a pleasant good morning to you coming from Tony'sPicks.com. And this is Ramon Scott. Welcome to Night Moves here for Saturday, December the 20th. What a sports betting card we're going to have here tonight. Man, we're going to be here a while, settle in. And we'll talk about the action here for Saturday. Man, it's going to be off the hook with our NFL action, college football playoff, the day everyone's kind of said, what are they doing? What are these guys doing? Not, considering the other big games. But man, that'd be some great uh, contests here on Saturday. There's also a huge NBA, NHL, college basketball slate as well. And it's going to be an awesome Saturday for sure. So we'll get the previews going here in no time flat because we got too many games to talk about and not enough time to do it. But I do want to talk about some of the action last night. How about did Fight Night deliver for you with those riding with uh, uh, Anthony Joshua, or was it Jake Paul? Because man, Paul got rocked there pretty good. I mean, really not a great fight. I guess maybe if you have Netflix, of course, you already got it for one for other reasons, but tune in and see the fight there. And really no match for the bigger, stronger man, right? I mean, Paul's got in there and lasted with some guys. Kind of doing that same thing where he gets them mixed up a little bit and then goes to his knees, hanging onto the guy's legs. He's done it in other fights as well. Not totally polished as a real professional, but he's had enough rounds that you got to give him a chance. As he does take it, very seriously. But when you're just up against a world class athlete like Joshua, you were going to pay the price. I mean, it really was the wear and tear. Those last blows weren't the toughest knockouts there, but he'd taken so much punishment that by the time he was just getting tapped a little bit, he was pretty much done for. So let's see who's here and who's ready to go. And thanks for joining me here on Night Moves. Take a long time to get these games going, man. There's so many games to look at here tonight. Man, so many. Let's see, Mr. 4600, Nick Handy here, Timmy Two Shoot as well, Zach Ross. You guys are all here, so I might as well get going as well. And Greg, no problem. We know what you got for us. We know you got the info. No problem tonight. Hopefully I can cover it for you here. And Zach says so much action tomorrow. College football playoff tonight, no problem there for OU in the game. Alabama pulled off a thrilling comeback after that 17-0 lead when it looked like the Sooners were going to coast at home. But, I said Matar would be the better quarterbacking. Well, he still had 300 yards, but it was that costly turnover kind of shifted the momentum after the Sooners came out with that strong start. And then with just a minute to go before halftime or so, the pick six tying the game, and that sent them into halftime with much the momentum, and they came back to control the second half to build that lead and never looking back. And we'll see what the Tide has to offer here when we get to the next round. Obviously, we've already seen that line come out as well. So what will it be like at the Rose Bowl with Alabama and Indiana? Indiana, a 7-point favorite over the Crimson Tide, total 48.5. Watch what you ask for. Here comes Bama right now, looking a lot like those DeBoer teams with athletes all over the field. So shame on me there. I just a little bit steamed at Alabama, and now here they come. It may be making me regret my words a little bit. Like I said, they were my preseason pick, but didn't have the faith in them there. Great job by Bama. Also, NC State over Memphis, 31-7 at the Gasparilla Bowl. 21 points in those first three drives was just crazy there and in that one. And in the Myrtle Beach Bowl, Western Michigan dominated Kennesaw 41-6 as Broncos set the tone early with that 65-yard run to start the game, and they were never headed there in that one between Buckley and the return on the fumble as well. So just a couple of those bowl games. We get the real action here on Saturday. All right. We'll cover the other recaps as we go along. We got to get to the action here with you guys, man. There's so many games. Let's get rolling. And thanks, everybody in the chat. Hope you're ready with your picks. Let me see if I can't just get this Give me 1 second. See, we can't just get this screen cleaned off here a little bit. My apologies to Tony and Hilbert here. There we go. That's much better. Sorry about that, gang. That's really embarrassing, but that's a lot better right there, even if it makes me look old. All right. Here we go. We're going to get rolling here right now with the action, and it's going to be a great Saturday, man. This is going to be awesome. Get ready for your picks, and I'll try to give you my best here as we get rolling. There we go, man. All right. Start with the NFL, however, we'll get to the college football play. Maybe it could go college football. This is the dilemma, right, between the TV networks or the respective organizations here. But, hey, it's the NFL here on Saturday. A couple of games. Hey, NFL on Saturday, that's old school, man. That's what they do after the college football season was over. They always run those 2 games on the weekend, right? Remember the famous game where they tried no announcers on a Saturday with the Jets and the I think it was the Jets and the Patriots one year. Jets and Dolphins like 1983 or something. They tried no announcers, and they said that would never work. All right, let's get it rolling here, though, right now with our first one up with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders. Eagles favored on the road here by 7, total 44.5. The Eagles have been a long-term, winning proposition, despite, what they've seen here of late with a little bit of, woes and, can they be the team that repeats if the offense just quite isn't what it was in years past? Or can they just get it rolling again now? Up against this Washington team, finally snapped that losing streak last time out. Still, I mean, you've got to figure it's still a division game. Washington getting that win that they finally deserve there as they kind of dominated the Giants in that game from the get-go in the 29-21 win. But look, the Eagles beat the Raiders. Raiders turned in one of the worst performances in NFL history, but they're one of the worst teams in NFL history. It only helped the Eagles snap that 3-game losing streak after they had lost to Dallas, Chicago, and the Chargers. So anybody can beat this Raider team right now. But Philadelphia 13-7, their last 20 games, ATS dating back to last year. We know Washington's been struggling here, 2-7 ATS in their last 9, and the way it's been going with Daniels now, just basically get him out of there, rest him up, don't get him hurt anymore for the rest of the season. It feels like you gotta just get him healthy and hope he can return to some form that we saw from him previously. Maybe that was just a fluky season. Maybe that was just a better team overall. So with the Eagles coming in, and you got to figure they're a little bit ready to beat up on somebody and prove that they still deserve to have a good seed here in the East right now. Look, there are issues, no doubt about it, but I mean, there's still a solid team here, still beating the spread here overall, especially of recent 7-3 in the last 10 games overall coming in. Eagles have gone under in 6 straight games. Look, it's a defensive tempo that's driven here with the Eagles. Make no mistake, because the offense can't seem to find its total rhythm. So they are relying a little bit on the strength of the defense. It feels like to me, Eagles 7-5 against the spread last 12 as a road favorite, 13-7. Not only in their last 20 overall, but last 20 coming off of a win as well. Commanders here with Mariota, they're no better with Marcus Mariota, right? Come on. Commanders really in a funk here, ATS and straight up. So I like the Eagles to smash here over the Commanders. This is one that they can get. Commanders aren't going to be playing. They had their Super Bowl last week, didn't they? Let's go to the chat if you want to make a pick on this one. Eagles have won 12 of the last 15 meetings in this series. They're also 6-2 straight up in the last 8 visits here, although 4-3-1 against the spread gives you a little bit to think about with that touchdown. Over in 8 of the last 11 meetings between the two teams overall. Oh, thanks there, Mr. Miho. I was reading the script. Do I have the time order backwards, you guys? That would be embarrassing. The Eagles and the Commanders are indeed the first game, so I just had the graphic backwards. Sorry about that, gang. Hope it's not missing out. Only guy gonna be upset with that is the big boss. All right, here we go. I'm sorry about that, you guys, but hopefully they'll fix it. We'll just leave the right line up there for a minute or two while we run through your comments. All right, Packers for Mr. Weskers, but Eagles against the spread. Oh, he's taking care of both games. Okay. Eagles extendo. Not much here from you guys. Appreciate it, though. Devontae, touchdown. Hello to sports fan. All right, appreciate it, gang, with your picks there. And I'm gonna take the Eagles in this one. No, I'm taking the Eagles. All right. Oh, we got Zach said paid in the public. Yeah, Eagles are public play for sure there. Cal Dog says the Eagles will finally fly. Remember, they're coming off 31-0 victory, but again, the Raiders really are epically bad right now. It is really an embarrassing situation for the Las Vegas Raiders. They are just one of the worst teams I've ever seen. Okay, let's go to the next one here. Packers and Eagles in this one, the nightcap. 8:20 Eastern, 5:20 Pacific. Packers coming in off the loss here last time out to Denver, 34-26 in Denver. The Broncos kind of show that they can compete with the elite teams in the NFC. But before that, Green Bay was, of course, on a hot winning streak. And, the thing is, they've been doing it without key players. It just shows you the depth, the strength, the coaching of the Eagles. They haven't been really that great against the spread this year, but they seem to be playing in their best form. I'm not going to hold much against them in that game. I mean, that was a trappy spot for sure at Denver. Yeah, no one wants to put Denver up with the championship caliber teams just yet, or do they? Still, Denver deserved that win. I mean, they're the team on the winning streak after all, with still plenty to prove. Meanwhile, for the Bears, 8-5-1 against the spread. Still, Bears look much better right now with Williams back there. He looks extremely comfortable. But look, the teams just met. Obviously, Green Bay got that win and cover at home, but just by a half a point. So, it feels like the numbers are right on in this series a little bit. You want to talk about the dominance of the Packers. It wasn't all Rodgers. They're still riding high, it feels like, against this Bears team. It's just a matter of trying to go back to the well again, time and time again. But it's hard especially if you're a trend-based handicapper. I mean, you could try to play the antagonist here a little bit with the Bears. I mean, the Bears won, remember, in Green Bay in that game last year, 24-22 as a 10-point dog. They finally got that off their back. And, maybe that did start to signal the change a little bit. I know we're not totally always thinking that Love can take us to the bowl, but look, that's who we got. And he's supposed to be a little bit more seasoned than Williams. But, man, it seems like Williams is coming on fast now that he's got competent coaching behind him. And that's maybe why the Bears have been slightly better against the spread than the Packers overall this season. But just if you throw the Packers overall right now and the positive play they've had, all these guys are getting injured. They still have, before the tough game in Denver, I get it. But they had won the that beat the Giants, Minnesota, Detroit, and that Bears game, and then covered against Minnesota, Detroit, and Chicago. Yeah, they didn't cover against the Giants, but that was just by half a point. They still won the game by a touchdown. So, I think the Packers, they've dominated the series, of course. We all know that. 11-2 against the spread, last 13. It's bad. You're talking about matchup specific. I can go to the public numbers. I can go to, Packers got to be a public play here too. But can you really get away from such a dominating trend as everyone knows in this one, despite what happened last season? But Green Bay has also won 13 of the last 14 straight up, and this is just a 2-point spread here. Packers 6-0, 5-1 against the spread. Last 6 visits to Chicago, over in 3 of the last 4 meetings, including the last 2 at Green Bay. The Chicago game, the one in Chicago with Green Bay winning last season, was an under. Green Bay won it 20-19, but the Bears covered. Let's go to the chat here. You're not going to catch me. I'll call me public. I got to go with the Pack still. I got to think that this organization just has a little bit more going for it, and you're getting a point or two. Let's go. All right, LALB's here. So the Packers on the money line, included with some other plays in there. And Timmy says the Eagles are crummy enough that the Commanders could cover in this one. Mr. 4600 says take the Packers in 2 points. And let's see. Hello to Viral Industries. Always good to have Viral Industries checking in with us. Cal Dog likes the Bears. Mr. Wester says Packers money line. It says the Bears have other problems right now trying to figure out where the Southern Indiana Bears next year. Is it going to be next year? Or is it when they build the stadium there? Whatever happened to tearing down Arlington Park and building a stadium? We've been so many stadium sites in Chicago. Really, what a disaster. Okay, Zach is on Green Bay, Viral Industries Bears money line. And, Micah going down again. Here's the one thing I think about the Micah injury, though, right? Although I was touting all the injuries, there were other injuries. We know it's runs pretty deep with the Packers this year. But, this one is a more recent injury, more in conjunction with the game, the not winning last weekend, not covering. And it was before Micah's injury that all those wins were occurring. But it just seems like they're just such a talented organization all the way through. But, you're talking about really the man who, if there was any reason to believe that this Packers team could get over the hump, what's been preventing them, it's been since Parsons arrived and immediately established himself. We already knew he was a superstar, but took over that defense, and immediately the Packers were, dominating teams when they needed to defensively, because their offense, is a little bit up and down. Okay, yeah, but that is a great point, Viral Industries. Cal Dog. Okay, you guys are talking a little bit of man. This is a great game, boy. Okay, here we go. Mr. Westfield thinks Caleb's out of here. But Viral says he's on a heater and Love tries to do too much. I think what more so Love moments of brilliance, but it's really on his intermediate passing game. Sometimes I worry, then he'll throw the big bomb out of nowhere and he'll hit it. And the one thing about the Packers and their long ball, their deep ball, it's almost a different guy every time. I know that's kind of reflective of the Packers. I don't know if I want to say even depth at wide receiver. It just feels like they find guys, though. And that's how they've always done it in Green Bay, with receivers who have been able to step up and be the next guy. So we'll see what's up with Christian Watson. Other injuries, though, as well. I mean, everyone's on this injured list, and that's a lot of factor for this big line movement here to the Bears. Oh, man, we talked about this game forever. All right, I got to make my pick here, but I'm still rolling with the Green Bay Packers. I just can't get away from them dominating this series over and over again. Maybe this will be the one. Komet probable. And still, you got to be hopeful for some of these Green Bay wide receivers to get in there. Wicks questionable, Watson questionable. And, man, they've had injuries on that offensive line as well. So, all right. Monangai, touchdown. Timmy Tushu. He's been a revelation. It looks like he'll be around, huh? Greg says Packers as a dog, take him plus money. Timmy's got the Bears to hammer him. Green Bay too banged up is what Jerry's saying there. No one's stopping this Bears running game now. They're in full, and that's helping Caleb. Packers going to need guys from the stands to catch the ball. That's what Mr. Wesker says. Ben Johnson, the big upgrade at coaching this year, and if they're going to get over the hump. And that's the thing, if they're going to get over the hump, right? They've already gotten over the hump with that first win on the road. Yeah, they lost the game at home there. They could they have done things differently? Yes, yes, they could have. Greg's got it as a 1-point game. All right, guess that's it for the NFL game. You guys slow down there in the chat. I'm just going to take the Packers here again. I'm going to do it until it's over. I want to take the pack here, and great job by the Bears here right now. I mean, they're the team that's ahead in the standings here currently, ahead of the pack. So, all right, Packers have a better D, says Mr. 4600. They do, but when you're missing your superstar that makes the engine go, that is a big loss, despite, some other players as well. When you lost basically one of the best in the league, it is trouble. But it's baked into the line, certainly. I'm still going to take the Packers here, not only doing it straight up at ATS against these guys for the most part. But true, Packers have covered 2 of the last 3. All right. That's it for the NFL. Jerry makes the calls, says Mr. Weskers. You can't rack up. Injury is a random thing for the most part, unless you're gambling on a player that's had a previous injury and it gets the same injury where it's kind of talk about being built in, right? Being built into the trade, but an out of blue injury, just kind of call that fate. Okay, let's go. We got to move, man. We got so many games. We got to get the college football playoff here on Saturday. Let's start it early. Noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, Miami and A&M here in this one. Wow. For Miami, of course, they come in hot, winners of their last 4 by 28, 30. 34, 17, and 27 points for these Canes, boasting a +9 turnover margin. Man, if Mitch were around now. They do have plenty of experience here with their starting unit, and a good start and a good offensive line as well. Under Coach Cristobal, though, definitely a struggle as an underdog. 19-22 ATS and 12-22 ATS following a win. A&M, meanwhile, 11-1, but did lose the game against Texas, obviously, and they've been turnover prone for sure. -8 in the last 5 games. They're solid quarterbacking here for A&M for sure. But the Aggies, SEC home favorites were kind of inconsistent against the spread. You kind of considered where Miami is right now. Certainly equal caliber team as a conference opposition here, especially with these two teams having met a few times in the last few years. Back in 23, Miami got the win 48-33. Texas A&M got a win in 22. Both those were early season contests. A&M won 17-9. Miami's momentum, their returning experience, and a strong turnover edge, you'd think that they can do enough to get this money as an underdog. Both teams, though, real strong defensive consistency, right, in a lot of those big games down the stretch. A&M here has had won 4 previous, but they failed to cover in 3 straight games right now. Miami, meanwhile, rocked Pittsburgh, also rocked North Carolina State, did not cover against Virginia Tech, part of the 4-game winning streak. Miami just an underdog for the second time this season. They did cover in their previous opportunity. A&M just 2-5 against the spread at home. So I want to roll with the Canes here in this one and take Miami plus the points here against A&M. Let's hear from you in the chat. All right, let's go to it and see here. Oh, oh man, another typo there. What am I doing? All right, you guys. Jeez. Fire the producer here. I know it's 3 A&M by 3. I don't know what's going on there. I think I just used a shell of one of today's games. Wasn't the first game on the board 3-48? Kennesaw and Western Michigan. I think I just typed right over the. Talk about lazy. A&M here 3.5 of course, or 3, mostly 3 and 48.5. There we go. Oh man, messing up the best videos of the week here. All right, here we go. you guys trying to play that line, we're gonna ban you from the Book of Ramon here. All right, Jimmy will take the 7 points. Mr. 4600 is blaming it on not enough sleep. Could have went to sleep in that second half with the. But then the fight was coming on. Okay, here we go. Viral likes the over in this one. Greg has it by, he has, hope he wasn't going off my numbers. He has Miami winning this one, actually. Here, the dog. And let's see here. Viral says it is starting to move to the over here a little bit at 48.5. And Viral does like the Canes as well, plus 3.5. But Mr. Mio says Miami will win this one. They got the more solid guys in the trenches here as compared to A&M. It's hard to win there with the speed. You know, they got their own set of 12th man, of course. Don't forget to kiss your date when the Aggies score. A&M money line, though, for Cal Dog. All right, gang. We're going to move to the next one. You guys are done. Thank you for your picks there in the chat. Want to hear from you in the chat. Make your picks with me here. Miami just 12-22. Oh, we said that. They've gone Miami under in 6 of their last 9. Did I talk about the total at all? Miami under in 6 of their last 9. Also 3-7. Under in 7 of their last 10, actually. A&M 8-4 to the over, 7-3 to the over as a favorite. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of think Miami's defense there a little bit. Miami has to lose so Notre Dame can troll. Okay, here we go. Let's try and move on here to the next one. Tulane and Ole Miss. look, if DeAndre was here, he might tell us that wants to give the Wave a chance, but it's gonna be hard pressed to make the public do that. I would think. I don't know. Maybe the points could be enough here at 17, but man, after what happened in the first meeting between the two teams this season, everyone's talking about the 45-10 win at Ole Miss, laying 12 and a half. Here they are laying 17 in a big game environment. Sure, maybe Tulane has worked up the confidence, worked up the momentum a little bit to maybe come in and compete in this game, but um, sure feels like Ole Miss is clicking with their offense and their quarterback and uh, everything that's been going on. And of course, a little bit of a downer for Coach Sumrall, even with the other circumstances going on with him. His dad passed away on Thursday, so it's going to be an emotional challenge. They did give up 45 and 48 points in their two losses this year, so you wonder how many points Ole Miss is going to score. Green Wave's been solid in close games decided by 8 points or less, but this one isn't supposed to be decided by 8 points or less. So, look, Green Wave is a veteran team, no doubt about it. But even with Kiffin leaving, they're still, even if they go downhill from here, this is going to be as good as they're going to be. No matter what you think about Kiffin, maybe they rally around the situation, right? I don't buy into the fact that people were saying good riddance. You just came in and made Ole Miss what they are, right? It's going to be hard to kick this guy out on the way out the door. I guess you could do it for clicks, but they did crush them there, obviously. And the SEC teams always beat these AAC opponents, right? So I think with the historical dominance, the current form, Ole Miss a heavy favorite to cover. You might be even laying more points. It might be the square play. That's why I'm taking it. Here I'm going to take Ole Miss to roll over Tulane again. Tulane, they do play lower scoring games. You look at their totals here a little bit. They're 4-9 to the under. If this one goes under, they're going to have a better chance, obviously, of getting there. They've got to try to do something about it and keep Ole Miss out of the 40s. That's the only hope, really, it feels like. So, look, they have a tendency to play lower scoring games, and maybe Ole Miss not relying on shootouts in previous bowl games. But, again, this is a different type of Ole Miss, right? Well, let me hear from you in the chat. I'm going to take another. I'm on all the square plays here tonight, it feels like, but after I got beat trying to go against the Crimson Tide, maybe I'm just a little scared. All right, here we go. Ole Miss Survival Industries, Zach Rossi on the Rebels. Tulane's got no chance. DeAndre, are you listening? Look, Tulane, what a great story. What a great story. And we're going to talk about JMU in a moment. But, where's the other teams that should be in this tournament? Why are some teams getting buys in this tournament? All right. Ole Miss is going to hammer them here, says Timmy Two Shoes. He loves the NCAA playoffs. So, yep, and bye-bye bowl games. I don't know how they can do it, but they could if they'll expand the playoff and then make your bowl game a playoff game. That solves it. Just like you do now, Rose Bowl, the big bowls become the become the quarterfinals or quarterfinals. Just expand it. Maybe you could win 2 bowl games in 1 year. You could go in and be a 16 round of 16 bowl winner in the Gator Bowl or something, and then you can go to the Rose Bowl and win that one or something. So you got to Gator Bowl. That's a little unfair. You think of the big traditional bowls, but instead of the Pop-Tart, you can send them to the Pop-Tart Bowl, and maybe the Pop-Tart Bowl pay a little money now. That's a playoff game, and you can get a little more revenue. All right. Here's a viral industry Ole Miss on the alt number. Crush them. And Jerry says, that's right. I mean, and that's what Lane Kiffin does. I mean, you're really going to say good, hey, thanks a lot, buddy. It sucks. You don't want, you want to keep going if you're Ole Miss. But, and Kiffin will probably go blow it up in the next place. But Okay, Timmy says take Ole Miss first half team total full game. Everybody's Ole Miss. I should do the total here because everyone's on Ole Miss. Ole Miss looks like a bunch of robots out there. Says Viral Industries. All right, maybe I should have did the total, but I just want to take Ole Miss tonight. All right. Let's get James Madison in here against Oregon. And are we looking at the same type of scenario here with JMU and Oregon as we were with Tulane and Mississippi? Remember, James Madison, no, it's going to be tough to equate it, right? Because the newness, they are a battle tested playoff program, uh, you know, as a strong FCS team for years and years. That's what made this program so strong at coming into this level. And they've been here for a few years now, right? I mean, it's not like a couple of these other teams that are just making their debuts, getting the bowl games. And James Madison's been, real strong here and having a great season here, obviously, as well at 12-1. Here, Oregon, hey, we know what we're getting a little bit with Oregon as well. But James Madison, they lost to Louisville. That is definitely stands out as something you're like, well, that's not what you want, but still an extremely disciplined team and good road dog. Not just this year, but in years past. This year 4-2 ATS on the road. Oregon, it's not about it's about the defense, allowing just 14.5 points in their last 6 wins and very strong defensively. Sunbelt underdogs usually struggle when taking on the power conferences, and Oregon does have plenty of experience covering as a home favorite in non-conference games, and did go 5-2 ATS at home, 6-3 ATS as a favorite. I almost feel like Madison will stay very competitive and then still not be able to cover this spread, though. Both teams show that they can score, but I think while Oregon's defense is strong, that JMU has a high-powered attack, but I think as the game wears on, I think it's just going to become more and more difficult. I don't know if they can keep answering what Oregon will likely score on a lot of possessions. Let's see what you guys have in this one. James Madison and Oregon here. Obviously, JMU's coach is leaving as well. Bennett, pretty strong here. JMU, good road underdog, like we said. 3-0 actually is a road dog. Their last 3 opportunities, they've been favorites all this year. Just that goes back a little bit. So let's see here. They've played in a couple of bowl games. I think they're 1-1 in those. Okay, here we go. Looking for the Madison picks here. Here's Oregon against the spread for Mr. Wesker. Zach says Doug's hands down. And Cal Dog, he's going to do it. He's going to take Madison here. A money line. Greg says Oregon to rock. I just think Oregon, I think it might even be like a 17-point game there, and you just think that maybe Madison has a chance to get back in the game. But Timmy says no chance for JMU. This is the best defense that they face by far, says Jerry. Over's the better play, says Cal. You got to be, definitely a blowout here for Oregon, says Greg. The Ducks will be up 35 before JMU knows it. Yeah, I want to try to be as positive as possible because I think that's the key here, that why I think James Madison could actually hang for a while. Kind of like we saw that one bowl game tonight, where it was a 21-0, like 2 minutes into the game, it seemed like. But like I said, Madison has been through the rigors of the bracket type of scenario, and they've won huge games, albeit against against FCS competition. So that's the only thing I'm trying to give JMU. All right. Viral says that JMU can run, with the run game. They can run on the Oregon Ducks here. Says Viral, and eat that clock. Well, you've got to slow down the game. And again, they're just trying to cover 3 touchdowns, right? They don't know but again, eventually you just have to think that you're down in the game and you're not worried about the spread. You're not playing to cover 21. You're like, well, now we're down 14. Now we've got to go to the air a little bit, huh? All right, I'm doing it. I'm taking the Ducks here, going all sides here tonight on Night Moves, and I'll just lay 21 points here with the Ducks. I agree. I think that total there can be pretty high. By the way, just want to put two tomorrow FCS semifinals, Montana and Montana State. Montana State 5.5-point favorite, 54.5. I got to go with the under in this one. I know I want to go over in every FCS playoff game, but at 54.5, I got to go with the under in this incredible matchup. Can you imagine these two teams meeting here in the semifinals, Montana and Montana State? You got to make room for that game and watch that one at 4 Eastern and 1 Pacific, even if you don't watch the late game in the FCS. I like Villanova +2 against Illinois State. So I'm going to take a couple of FCS plays there. Under in the big game, Montana and Montana State. Wow. And I'm going to take Villanova over Illinois State. That's going to be great. Those are going to be great games tomorrow, too. All right. Greg says Oregon's going to score 35 and at least 46 is too low. Right? I think if Oregon scores 46, they cover the spread. If they score 35, they're not going to cover the spread. That seems basic, doesn't it? All right. That's it for the football tomorrow. Settle in if you like other sports here right now. I don't want to do any disservice to those great sports, but let's get to the NBA here on Saturday night. On Night Moves, got a great crowd in here tonight, ready for the action, and I feel like we're leaving the best behind. The show might be over for about a third of the crowd. All right, look at Viral. He's gonna tape the JMU Louisville game. That's what, right? Remember, tape it. Well, if that's the case, I guess that means that Joshua covers the spread, but in the second half, did Paul win any round there, guys? Did he win the first? He didn't win any round. He didn't win any round. I saw one person maybe thought the first round went to Paul. Was that even a knockdown? We're in it. All right, here we go. Let's go to the NBA on Saturday night. It's a big card. We're going to do it quickly. Apologies here. But, with all these games, we're just going to have to kind of give the pick, maybe a trend or two, or get the picks from you if you want as well. I mean, we'll, of course, make time for that. It's all about the chat, actually. So make your picks here with me, and I'll put them on the screen. My picks are secondary to yours, but I'm still going to get them out there. Right, maybe real quick, though, before we get into the everyday sports, if you will, because this is where I'll be doing business tomorrow. Over at Tony'sPicks.com, where I'll have my premium picks up for the action here on Saturday, especially in college basketball. We're trying to come with it here. Had a couple winners there on Saturday. And there we have some okay numbers here over the last 30 days. We've been the profit in college football, NFL, soccer, and NBA. And check me out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 15% off all those premium pick packages, including mine here on Saturday. We had on Friday, we had the under there with San Antonio and Atlanta. We also came in with Florida State minus 40.5. Why not? I think it went up to 41.5. They won it by 47 in that one. So, yeah, we laid 40 something points. Also, we had under with Kennesaw and Western. Hopefully, you got there, you guys. I know it came very close to the number there in that one. So, we had a few winners there, a little bit of profit, but we're going to come in with a bigger slate over at Tony'sPicks.com on Saturday, especially in college basketball. So please check me out over at Tony'sPicks.com and use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 15% off those premium pick packages. And we'll be firing away here. Get ready for some great college basketball picks on Saturday. We should be able to attack this big board here approaching the holidays over at Tony'sPicks.com. Make sure you hook up with any of the handicappers. Check out the handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot, and then get signed up on Friday night. We did have some of our champion handicappers come in with some pretty strong days here, including Al Ninos, 3-0. Jorge, 3-1 there. Tony T went 2-0. Vegas Al went 5-3. Ron Crawford, 5-3. Great job by the guys on Friday night. See who else had a good week here. You got Ron up nearly 11, over 11 1/3 units over this past week. Justin's up 6 1/4 units over the last week as well. Great job, guys. You got Al up there. Al Ninos up nearly 4.5 units over the last 30 days. Justin's up 19 1/3 units. Congratulations to Justin leading the way over on the handicapper leaderboards. Go to Tony'sPicks.com. All right, better roll here right now with the NBA action. Just want to do that while we got a nice crowd in here. Hopefully you didn't mind. But let's go first off. Whoops. Make sure we got the right game in there. Here we go. Rockets and Nuggets are the first game up. There we go. More graphics problems. You guys are probably laughing at me in the chat. Okay, Rockets and Nuggets here on Saturday afternoon, 5:10 Eastern, 2:10 Pacific. Here in this one, and closely rated game between two of the best teams in the NBA, much less the Western Conference. Houston coming in here 16-8, but off of a couple of losses in a row here, including a loss to New Orleans a couple of nights ago on the road. This is a third straight road game for Houston. They failed to cover in 4 straight. Meanwhile, for Denver, it's all systems go. They're on a winning streak here right now. They've been covering games as well. Houston is 2-0 as an underdog this season. They're still here an underdog, maybe by 1 or 1.5. This total is dropping here rapidly right this minute. I'll tell you that. This thing's fallen to 235 here at some books. So this is a move in progress here on Night Moves right now. I think that's safe to say. These teams are not under teams for sure, especially Denver. Denver's been an over pick. Both teams have been riding pretty heavy over trends. Denver's gone over in 10 of their last 11 here. But you're going to be getting the best of the number now as this one continues to dip. Now, for Houston, they are 15-9 to the over as well, but they've been flatlining a little bit on the total in their last 10 games. They're still 10-4 to the over on the road. Denver, 16-10 overall right now. Houston, like I said, they've not only failed to cover here in these last few games, 4 straight, but they've also struggled against Denver. They've lost 4 straight, and Denver's gotten the money in all 4 of them. So Denver's in sharp form, and Houston, they're not in very good form, actually, with these 4 straight failures. So will this be enough to get Denver all fired up? I would think so. I know the Sharps are going to be on Houston here, but I think I want to take old reliable Nuggets. Let's see what you got in the chat. And take a look at maybe some of the injury report. Aaron Gordon. Let me see. Peyton Watson questionable. Tari Eason questionable. Not too worried about that. Let's see what you guys got in the chat. Greg says he got a quick revenge here with this one, with that game just a few nights ago, 5 days ago or so. Udoka not even trying hard in there, says Mr. Weskers. Zach likes Denver. Nuggets have flipped the switch now even before Christmas. Maybe they want to be ready for Christmas. Spread's too low. Take Houston. Oh, Houston is spread too low. Houston is money. So Greg thinks Houston on that revenge factor there. I got to take Denver. Houston, maybe this is the one they're going to get up for. Maybe I don't think they're broken, but I'm going to take the Nuggets here. Celtics at Raptors, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Celtics coming in here 19-11, playing good ball, but has lost 2 of 3 coming in. Losses to Milwaukee and Detroit. They did knock off Miami last night. 129-116 in that one. We did have Boston here on night moves last night. Toronto, meanwhile, coming in here with a pair of victories over Miami and Milwaukee, covering both games there in that one. Boston's 9-2 against the spread in their last 11 games overall coming in. They've been a consistent cover this season. We know Toronto, despite this winning record, 12-16 ATS, 4-10 ATS at home, 2-8 ATS in their last 10 games. 12 of the last 17 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Toronto's gone under in 7 of their last 10. Celtics have gone under in 8 of their last 13. Toronto also under in 8 of their last 14 games at home. I'm going to go with the under here in this one with Boston and Toronto. But we'll see if right now, I mean, it does feel like the Celtics, they ran into a couple of speed bumps there against Milwaukee and Detroit. They were playing better before that, but Toronto, maybe they've shaken their slide a little bit with those consecutive wins. I'll take the under. All right, and we've got Mr. Miho on the Raptors money line. Boston might be tired playing yesterday, says Greg there. And he's got Toronto to win this one outright. And Zach says the same thing. Got to take Toronto there. And Mr. Weskers on the Celtics to keep it going here right now. Yep, good momentum here for Boston, too. Pretty good game here, right? With the teams considerably over 500 right now. Timmy likes quickly to get 3 threes. Okay, the Mavericks are at the 76ers here. Look, the Mavericks are always going to be an attraction right now, despite, struggling with the record, but they've still won 3 out of their last 4 right now. Philly has won 2 of their last 3. Philly 16-9-1 against the spread. Dallas is 15-13 against the spread, and they're really starting to pick up some momentum here with 8 covers in their last 10 games. Dallas 13-7 as a dog this year to the number, although Philly, just a darn good spread team overall at 8-4 ATS as a favorite, though just 7-8 ATS at home. Philly comes in off of the win over the Knicks last night, 116-107 as a 6.5-point dog. As we said that Philly would be hot there going in. That was our pick here yesterday on Night Moves with Philly there. We said they'd go in, and even you guys were kind of touting Philly to win that game. Some of you in the chat were, I believe, on Philly there saying that this would be the game that they'd kind of they could win because of the fatigue factor with the Knicks. That was some great capping there by you guys, for sure. Dallas comes in here off of a home win over Detroit. They were a dog in that one. We had Dallas. We did have winners last night here on Night Moves. Now, we did lose a couple, but we still had big time winners as well to keep this hot streak going. I mean, I almost forgot, right? So we'll just keep winning here on Night Moves with these NBA plays. Was it 4-1 last night, right? So that makes it 14-3, right? 14-3 the last two nights on the show here. All right, I can do math. Yeah, 14-3 last two nights on Night Moves here. So every game we pick is a winner. That's why we had them. Talking about the Mavs in that one against Detroit. But they did lose to Utah before that, wins over Houston and Brooklyn right now. So let's see what you think, though, in this one with Dallas and Philly. The Sixers, 4-1 ATS, and yeah, they've had success against Dallas. They've won 4 straight meetings over Dallas, or 3 straight, I think, right now. 3 straight. I'm going to say 3 straight. Philadelphia has gone under in 6 of its last 7 games here right now, 6-9 to the under at home. Dallas has been kind of an under here for the most part this season. So let's see here what you have with this one in the chat. All right. Mr. Weskers says, take Philly, gonna go with Philly again. Dallas is rested. Philly is drained after that game. I mean, that had to be a little bit of emotional for Philly. You know, it's gonna take a little bit of effort, even for beating up on the Knicks, given the situation last night. But still, Philly at home here against a Dallas team that, you know, obviously sub 500, just 3-7 on the road so far. We know Flag probably tries to do too much right now, but hey, that's the way it's been going. I mean, especially when you have all these missing, you know, all these moving parts with Dallas right now. But AD is probable here, and Embiid, he's questionable. So we'll see how that shakes out. I mean, will Embiid be able to even make this lineup? Could this be the spot for Dallas here? But still, you know, on the road here, you got Clay also questionable here. So I'm going to have to take Philly here again. I'm going to go with Philly against Dallas in this one. All right. Timmy says he likes under in this one. Zach says take the over. Thanks, you guys. Great job. All right. Indiana Pacers, take it on. New Orleans Pelicans. How we could have skipped this one, you guys, on this card. Oh, another bad job by the producer. But give the Pelicans credit. Plus, what if DeAndre showed up? Pelicans winners of 3 straight games coming in right now. Hats off. Beating Portland, Chicago, and Houston. 2 of those at home, beat Chicago on the road. New Orleans has been money. Everybody knows that. This is only their second time as a favorite, though, this year. They are 8-2 ATS last 10, 10-5 ATS at home. Indiana just 5-7 ATS on the road, despite, being a pretty decent spread team, mostly because they've been, I don't know, I keep saying it, right? Underrated, kind of, because they cover the spread, even though they lose the game. They're 12-10 ATS as a dog. Have covered 6 of their last 10 overall. Pelicans are 8-1 in their last 9, despite, less than stellar straight up results, and they did cover their only time as a favorite this season. Pacers have lost 3 in a row to Philadelphia and Washington and New York. They did cover against the Knicks, though, at home in that game, losing by 1 point as a 3.5-point dog. We have the Pacers in that one. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone under, and the Pacers have been, steady under here, 2-10 to the under on the road. But New Orleans 12-4 to the over at home. Although in their only time as a favorite this year, the only other time for New Orleans as a favorite, it did go under there. So maybe when they have been a dog getting blown out, it goes over. 1 game sample size is not a sample size, but All right. I got to go under here with Indiana and New Orleans. See what you guys have. Anything in this one? Pelicans and Pacers. We just spent too much time on that game. Pelicans for Mr. Weskers. Pacers are already in the tankathon, says Mr. Weskers. Greg says Pels by 2. That means take the Pacers. He says total 234. That might be on the over. Sprinkle the Indiana money line for Greg. All right, Hornets and Pistons here on Saturday night. Charlotte coming in here just 9-18 right now. Detroit 21-6. Detroit lost last game to Dallas 116-114 in that game on the road, but Detroit comes back home right now, taking on a Charlotte team. Winners of 2 straight over Cleveland on the road, beat Atlanta at home. Charlotte, a little bit of a streak there. Charlotte's been okay here, 13-10 ATS as a dog. Detroit 8-6 ATS at home, but they're in poor form right now. Are the Pistons spread wise? They did win 4 straight games over Portland, Milwaukee, Atlanta, and Boston. They were on a roll. Of course, they've been on a roll here for weeks before losing to Dallas, but they haven't been covering them all. In fact, the kind of the public momentum has been ramped up a little bit. It seems like on Detroit. Charlotte's covered 4 of their last 5 overall, and against Detroit. Detroit did not cover 12 points this first meeting of the season. They didn't cover 12 points last year at home. They didn't cover 7.5 against the Hornets at home, and the Hornets won the 2 home meetings last year. So usually the Hornets have gotten enough points in this matchup over the last 2 or 3, 2 visits. Both teams have been showing pretty strong under trends, it feels like to me, although Detroit 9-5 to the over at home. They've been a little bit more under of late. Charlotte hardcore under as a dog, 7-16, and under in 8 of their last 10, under in 8 of 13 on the road. All right. I'm going to take the Hornets here to get the money in this one against Detroit. Maybe that under looks pretty good too, but let's see how you have it in the chat, if anything here. And Zach Rossi, Hornets take the points. Greg says he's got it here maybe for Detroit. And Mr. Wesker says extendo on the Pistons. Wizards and Grizzlies. NBA action here for Saturday night. Guess we'll go with this one. Memphis playing much better here over the last couple of weeks. All of a sudden winning and covering several games here of late. They're coming off a road wins and covers against the Clippers and Minnesota. They also won and covered at home against the Clippers, and Portland did lose at home to Utah in an upset. Washington, meanwhile, won at Indiana in a big win there, but then got blown out at San Antonio. We laid it with San Antonio in that one. This is the first meeting of the season between these 2 teams coming in. Washington is 5-11 against the spread all time against Memphis, and it is just a 2 times a year meeting. But other than that, Washington's just struggling badly overall. We know that. Like I said, they're not winning and they're not covering as an underdog specifically. They've only been a favorite twice, but still covering barely a third of the time right now so far this season. It's pretty consistent. You can go against them here, unless they start turning it around. But just can you stomach the 11 here? 6 of the last 8 meetings between these 2 teams have gone under, and Memphis is 9-18 to the under this season, although maybe more so to the under as a favorite, more so to the under on the road. Still 5-8 to the under at home, 4-7 to the under as a favorite, although Washington is 13-10 to the underdog, to the over as a dog. Consider they are 6-8 to the under on the road. So let me take the under in this one with Washington and Memphis here on Saturday night. See if you have anything on this one. We're getting to some less than great games here, I guess. Zach says Grizz. Greg says he's got Memphis to roll here by 16. Timmy Two Shoe got McCollum for his 4 threes. And maybe you could put him 3+ in a parlay there. Is that what that says? Greg says Washington never scores over 109 points. I mean, there you go. And what would Memphis have to, come up with here? 124. Can they really get to 124? They did when they scored 126 against Utah. They lost. They're not going to lose this game, right? So good call. Good handicapping there. All right, we're getting there, man. Here we go. Suns on the road taking on the Warriors. Suns come in here off of a win, but they have lost 2 of 3 coming in. Beat the Warriors 99-98. Yep, we had the Suns. Doesn't matter whatever game it was 2 nights ago. We pretty much won. It was a 1.5 point spread, so but still, we had Phoenix. They won the game. For Golden State here, 3 straight losses right now. They're really having some issues here for sure. Losses at home to Minnesota, lost at Portland, lost at Phoenix. We had Phoenix, so like I said, in that game. So you got the rematch here, and I know that's always big for you guys in the chat. So let's see what you have here now with Phoenix taking on the Warriors here. The Warriors now favored by 6. We know, so far, Phoenix is a pretty strong cover, 17-10 ATS. Golden State 8-10 ATS as a favorite. Phoenix has covered 10 of the last 14 meetings against Golden State, kind of overall over the last couple of seasons as well, even riding some of the ups and downs. Phoenix has been able to find the money more often than not. Both teams are kind of on under trends for sure of late, despite being over trend specific. Phoenix 8-5 to the over on the road, but 12-15 to the under overall. Golden State, meanwhile, 11-7 to the over as a favorite. Both teams have gone under in 5 of their last 7 games, however. So maybe it is kind of slowing down for these guys. See what you have here. Like I said, Golden State's a team kind of, struggling with 3 straight losses. But, Phoenix has been no better than up and down. We know that. This one, I think, does require a look at the injury report. Let's see. Big Al is out. Grayson Allen questionable. Livers questionable. All right, not too big a deal there. Hope we didn't miss any others, like a job being out there for Memphis, but I think we knew that. Okay, let's see here. Anything in this one? Phoenix for Zach. Brooks to get a technical and an ejection. When do those fines and the suspensions start to kick in on the technicals? Okay, Greg says 115. He's got the Warrior. He's taking the Suns there, it looks like, in the under. Yep, that's what he said. And going to have some. You got it. Hey, this one sets up great for some fisticuffs. Brooks to hit a 3. Suns for Mr. 4600. And man, Timmy wants to play Curry for a big night. All right. I'll still roll with the Suns here. They're playing competitive. Warriors make every game a struggle, is what it seems like. Like I said, 6-5 ATS at home, but Phoenix doing a great job covering here right now. More so at home, no doubt about it, but I'll take them because of they do hang in there pretty good with the Warriors. I know it's a little bit of revenge here, but Golden State did cover the previous two meetings between the two teams. The earlier meeting here at Golden State was 118 to 107. Warriors did cover. They were laying 10.5 in that one. Look how it's changed. A lot of respect there for the Suns. Magic taking on the Jazz. Here, Orlando, 15-12 coming in. Utah, 10-16. A lot of people are Utah home, no. Utah road, yes. Orlando coming in off of a couple of losses here to the Knicks, of course, in the Cup, and then the Denver loss on the road. They were getting 6.5. That was the one I lost the other night. That was the one sure loser there with that one. Utah coming in 11-4, ATSO at home. No matter what you say about Utah home, no, that doesn't sound like it. And Orlando 6-6, ATS on the road, 8-11, ATS as a favorite. Man, Utah's a good home favorite. That sounds pretty nice, actually, right? Utah coming in off 3 straight covers. They covered at home against the Lakers. That one, I gave myself a loss. I said I said take Utah +7 on the show here on Night Moves. It went off at 9. So, I think if anybody waited or saw the video later, they might have got the win or the push. But I'll give myself a loss. I said 7. Still, Utah officially got the money for the 3rd straight cover. They also won against Dallas, won against Memphis on the road, and do have to check the status and the fact also that they did with Markkanen here. I believe he's out of the game. Markkanen doubtful here, so yeah, it does. I don't think he's making this lineup. We know Wagner's still out as well. Suggs doubtful though, and let's see, any others? De Silva questionable, Isaac questionable. So Utah's been nice job covering these numbers for sure. These two teams have not met yet this season. Utah won this game here last year, 113-99 in that one. And these two teams are over teams, but we'll see. I might have to just hold off on that. It's just that Utah's gone over in 15 of their last 19 at home, dating back to last season, 11-4 at home to the over this year. Orlando's 8-4 to the over on the road. That seems a little bit more significant. So I'm just going to take Utah here plus the points. Orlando just 1-6 against the spread lately, while Utah's covered 5 of 7 officially here, I think, if you go back. So I'm going to take Utah plus points here at home over Orlando. All right, Mr. West wants no part of the match. Greg says Magic bounces back with the win. I think he likes it over barely. And let's see here. Greg says Magic win, Utah covers. And let's see. Greg says for Orlando, after losing to Denver, not covering, that they can come in here and get a win there, maybe. Zach likes the Jazz as a home dog. Mr. Weskers likes Spain to get a T. Timmy might be on Keontae. All right, I'll take Utah. Boy, it's fun capping NBA basketball with you guys here in the middle of the night. Let's go to the Blazers here taking on the Kings. The Blazers have won a couple in a row here right now over Golden State and Sacramento. They didn't cover. They needed everything they had over Sacramento the other night. We had the Kings +9 for the Kings here in that loss to Portland there. Certainly, we had them. It was 134-133. They were getting 8 points on up there in Portland. Now they're getting 4 points at home, and they still lost the game, right? So Sacramento is on the revenge technically, right? Even though they easily covered that number. Portland, they're 1-9 against the spread as a favorite. This is the same thing we were dealing with last game. Remember, now they're 1-9 against the spread against the favorite. That you can make fun of Sacramento and their 2-9 spread record at home, but that's one more cover than one. Maybe Portland 7-9 ATS on the road. Sacramento is a better cover on the road than they are at home, even though they're not a good cover at all, if that makes any sense. They are 8-16 as an underdog, ATS, Sacramento. So there's not great numbers there at all. And Portland still technically is a 14-13 ATS overall this season. Sacramento's seen the under come in 11 of their last 16, but we mentioned it, right? Portland, not only did it go not only did they fail to cover again in that last game to go to 1-9 as a favorite, they're also 9-1 to the over when favored. So we're going to just see that same exact thing play out. Portland struggling on the road and covered just twice in the last 6 games against the Kings overall. So I don't know. Maybe it does say Sacramento's been going under here of late, but maybe Portland kind of dictates because of their goofy inability to not play well, in the favorite role. All right, these are right. I'm not saying there's not great looking over all these games, but it does make it a little bit boring on the weekends to do the same game, even if it is kind of intriguing like this. Mr. Weskers gives the Kings no respect. But man, Portland just can't, they can't win. They can't win big. At least here it is a little bit smaller spread, right? Kings have that revenge. Kings got to win sometime. 4 straight losses: Indiana, Denver, Minnesota, and Portland. Lay it with the Blazers, says Zach. Wrong team's favored, says Greg. This is it. He likes the Kings to get it done here, I think. DeRozan, and he looks like, how did I end up in this situation when you see him there, huh? On those timeouts, he's on the bench. He's looking up into nowhere land. I know he's looking at the scoreboard, but oh, Mr. Weskers, I'm kidding you. I know we love it all, but just put him against a different team. That's all. Portland ain't that good. No, they're not. And they're not covering either. So, but I'm going to go ahead and take the over here in this one, kind of riding that, feel of what happens for Portland. They don't cover and they do go over. Yes, I'm worried because it's only 4. They should still win the game. Kings are just 4-20 straight up as a dog. All right. We got one more here for Mr. Weskers. Lakers and Clippers. Oh, the Clippers. I you know what? There's a certain part of me that just loves the misery of the Clippers. It reminds me of the old days when the Clippers were really bad and they would have a record like this for years on end. And the later in the season it got, the worse the percentage got. We already went over some of those bad seasons, right? What were the 12-60, 12-60, 13-59, something like that. Here they're only getting 2.5 from the Lakers. It looks like a trap, but the Clippers haven't won in weeks. And they're not covering too many spreads. They did grab a couple of covers against Houston and Minnesota, but again, they're just on a massive losing streak here right now, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. maybe there's some type of secret penalty going on from the NBA that's preventing them from playing well. I don't know. I'm not. I'm. You know, no. Everyone knows I don't like when people come in here, or I don't say it like that. Not about any conspiracy theory, but just you just try to figure it out. And yes, maybe it's because the whole organization is in disarray because of the uh, because of the Kawhi scandal and all that, and Chris Paul and everything else. When you everything else, when you pay a bunch of high priced players who end up far from performing up to their standards. Clippers should be taking the alternate route of the Lakers. They should be building from within with young players and then add the superstar to a young, talented team that maybe finds some growth. It's so hard to start over in the NBA with that. At least you got this rich guy who I guess could go buy some more superstars here in the future if he so chooses. Or are they going to tell? Is he telling them to don't? The league telling them you can't spend this money. All right, Lakers are 5-1 against the spread and straight up in their last 6 against the Clippers, and at least the Lakers here have won a couple in a row over Utah and Phoenix. They covered against Phoenix. They won and covered against Philly. They're 10-5 against the spread on the road. If this is the road, at least they're in a different building now. Clippers 1-10 ATS in that beautiful building. What a shame. 8-19 against the spread overall, but in this building, it's just not there. How are you going to take the Clippers here in this one? I applaud them here a little bit because of the position they've taken. I know there's Harden. What's the deal with Harden here too? I better at least check the report on him now. Here we go. Reeves still out, of course, so I get that. Harden is probable here. Ayton out. Vincent out. Hachimura questionable. So there's some issues here for the Lakers, but, the stars are expected to be in. Come on. Lakers have gone over in 8 of their last 10. Coming into this one, they're 9-5 to the over. As a favorite, Clippers are 9-5 to the over as a dog. I'm just going to go with the Lakers, man. Come on. Whatever, Clippers. Maybe this will be the one. Okay. Mr. West was on the Clippers after all these years. They owe him probably thousands upon thousands of dollars. Played Harden. Timmy's going to play Harden. Clippers are terrible. Lakers here for Greg. He'll lay the 2.5. Mr. Wesker says Ballmer's in a few lawsuits. He'll be selling his company here. How much money can you have, right? Lakers and over for Zach. I don't know if I'd want to own a professional sports franchise and pay these guys. I like the way that you've seen a couple guys, right? Like everybody's favorite gambler, Haralabos Bulgaris, how he bought Castellon in the Spanish Division 2 and is trying to build them up. Or, Sports Cheetah. Remember Preston Johnson? And he bought that lower division English team and got into a bunch of controversy trying to do some weird way to finance signing players with a coin, with a meme coin or something. I don't know. All right, Clippers waste of money. Lakers and Clippers line. Oh gosh, Clippers play in a better building than the Lakers do. Yeah, man, that Lakers building is getting old. All right. Best bathrooms in the league, Mr. Weskers, at the Intuit Dome. No more Clippers. Yeah, it's hard, man. They're struggling. What an embarrassment. Oh. Yeah, don't get rid of Normie Powell. That was the mistake. I mean, all right. I'll just take the Lakers here. I got a square card tonight, but maybe I was still steaming after that football game. All right, we're going to go here 4 college basketball games. I hope we can do this. No, I'm sorry, 6. 6 college basketball games before we get to a ton of hockey here. And it's 4:20 in the morning Eastern time, 4:24. Okay, let's get to it. Cal Dog hasn't watched the Lakers since they were at the Great Western Forum. Does anybody remember the Chick Hearn rap? I'm Chick Hearn. I'm Chick Hearn. Out to Worthy to Magic. Out to Worthy to Magic. Good in the pressure cooker. Rejected by Kareem. Boy. All right. It'll count if it goes. It'll count if it goes. It didn't go. It didn't go. All right, here we go. St. John's taking on Kentucky. All these are, this one's in Atlanta. Why not? Featured game here, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific. St. John's taking on Kentucky. Yeah, Kentucky's had some problems here for sure, but hey, they're still Kentucky. St. John's is the ranked team here with coach, ranked 22nd, 7-3 coming in, winners of 3 straight. They beat Ole Miss, they beat Iona, they beat DePaul. They have gone 0-4 against the spread in their last 4 games, including a loss to Auburn, who we'll talk about in the preview here. Still, St. John's 4-5. ATS is a favorite. UK 0-2. ATS is a dog. UK coming in here off a pair of wins over North Carolina Central. They rocked them, but they didn't cover 42.5. They did beat Indiana, remember, in that high-profile game, though, there, and easily covered the spread. Maybe UK coming back here a little bit. I don't know. St. John's 3-5 to the under as a favorite so far. And, this one neutral, on a neutral here, obviously. But let's see what you think in this one. We're going to, like I said, I think we picked the 6 biggest games, I feel like, here on the card. So hopefully this will be good. And see if you guys have anything in the chat in this one with St. John's here. Taking on Kentucky. Sorry, gang, I have a little bit of technical difficulty getting my notes up. There we go. All right. Okay, I'm going to the chat here right now with you guys. Thank you for being patient. Mr. Wesker is on Kentucky here on the money line. Timmy Two Shoes likes the over, but he's thinking about, before when Kentucky, because this has been, a little bit of a problem so far this season. Not great. St. John's here for Zach. I mean, obviously, St. John's totally legit here. Only ranked 22nd. You'd think that what's going on, St. John's? Are we not? They haven't won them all here right now. They just, like I said, lost to Auburn. Cal Dog on St. John's. And Timmy might be going over here with these two. Maybe, but I think I want to go under, actually. I think early on here in the season, what we've seen so far, like I said, you got St. John's here, 3-6 to the under as a favorite. Neutral court game here. I'm going to go with the under. The St. John's, I will say this, they are 0-8 against the spread their last 8 tries against SEC opponents. So I'm not sure I, want to be laying anything with them here. I'm going to go under with St. John's in Kentucky. St. John's not beating Kentucky at home. Maybe not, but this one's in Atlanta. These are all kind of half neutral sites on some of these. This is the other game in Atlanta. I believe this is a part of the what is this event here, actually? Oh, the CBS Sports Classic, of course. I mean, how can I forget? They've run this one before. Sorry for the typing there. North Carolina and Ohio State here in Atlanta as well. Carolina laying 4 here, total 154. This one's at 3 Eastern and noon Pacific after the first one here. Carolina ranked 12th. They're 10-1 coming in right now, 4-game winning streak after they were handed their first loss of the season by Michigan State in East Lansing. Since then, they beat Kentucky, Georgetown, they beat Upstate, and they beat East Tennessee, going 3-1 against the spread in those games for Ohio State, coming in off of a win over West Virginia. They did not cover despite being favored by just 3.5. They only beat them by 1. They also lost to Illinois at home. They did win and cover against Northwestern on the road, but lost at Pitt. Carolina is 7-4 against the spread so far this season, but just 4-3 against the spread as a favorite. Ohio State, meanwhile, 4-6 against the spread overall this season. They failed to cover in 2 straight. See what you have maybe in the chat in this one with North Carolina versus Ohio State. North Carolina is still 14-6 ATS dating back to last season and 6-1 against the spread. Their last 7 meetings with Ohio State. Teams have only met 3 years ago, and they met a couple of times in mid-December appointments for the most part. But still, Carolina's been the one to get the money when they've been faced head-on. Carolina has gone under here right now in 5 straight games. See what you like in this one with UNC and OSU. Here is Cal Dog liking the Tar Heels. Yep. Here's Mr. Wesker's on Carolina. Greg's got Carolina here to win and maybe cover by a point. Zach Rossi's on the heels. And Jimmy says maybe the 4 does kind of favor Carolina here. I agree with that. I'm going to take Carolina to get this money. Let's lay 4 points here with Carolina. I think you guys are on them. I'm going to take them. The chat's on Carolina. This feels like a consensus. I mean, it's like 4 or 5-0 in the chat. I got to go with Carolina. Or else why would I even run this show? All right, the Purple Cats taking on Butler here in this one. This one is in the Gainbridge Fieldhouse, so it's not technically a neutral site game here, I guess, but still here in Indy. So it's going to favor Butler here, I would guess, big time, even though Northwestern not a opponent's going to be drawing all the fans here, but we're here on a Saturday. This one's on Peacock. Cats have actually won 2 straight coming in over Jackson State. They covered 30, and they beat Valpo, although they did not cover. Northwestern just 3-8 against the spread so far this season. 0-4 against the spread away from home. 0-2 against the spread as a dog. Butler 7-4 ATS, 5-3 against the spread as a favorite. Might consider this a home game. They've been kind of tight at home. Martinelli's a great scorer for Northwestern, but Butler here is going to be a slight favorite, just 1.5. Butler coming in with 4 straight failures against the spread. They lost to Connecticut as a 15.5-point dog, lost by 19. Beat Providence in that wild game, but did not cover. Lost to Boise at home and then beat EMU, but didn't cover that one. So they're struggling to the number here. Both teams are actually struggling to the number here right now. But Butler, these 2 teams did meet last season at Northwestern. It was 71-69 in favor of Butler. They were getting 2.5 in that one. Northwestern is 8-3 to the over so far this season. 2-0 to the over as a dog. Butler 5-6 to the under. See what you think here maybe in this one. Butler's lost. Butler's beaten Northwestern in 6 straight meetings, and it's only a 1.5 point spread. But like I said, they are struggling overall. Northwestern, though, these games are consistently pretty high scoring, but I think the Sharps are going to be on the under here. I'm just going to take Butler in this one at Gainbridge. Give me the Bulldogs over the Wildcats. All right, let's see here. Greg liking Butler here. Mr. Wesker's on Butler. Timmy Chushu says, if Northwestern wins, good for them, but you got to take Butler here. Yeah, Butler. Look, I don't know if we're not dealing with the same Butler necessarily. They're still 8-3 overall right now. I don't know if they're behind pace or might be the norm here for Butler, it feels like. But, lost to Connecticut. Yeah, you don't want to lose to Boise at home, but I guess Boise, I don't think they're too bad here right now. All right, let's move on here. Got a couple more in the college ranks. Then we're going to hockey. We're doing fine here on time. Arkansas taking on Houston. Hope these are good games, you guys. This one's in Newark, New Jersey, because why not? Arkansas and Houston. Houston comes in here a 4-point favorite, total 144 here in the Prudential Center. Both teams have won 4 straight coming in. Houston ranked 8th, Arkansas ranked 14th. Houston's 10-1, Arkansas's 9-2, but Arkansas has been the far better spread team so far, 8-3 ATS, 3-1 ATS is a dog. Meanwhile, Houston 1-5 against the spread as a favorite, just 5-6 against the spread overall. However, they've covered 3 straight, but laying big numbers to FSU, Jackson State, and New Orleans. Meanwhile, Arkansas has been all covers here of late, despite playing Queens College last time out. They still beat them by 28 as a 23.5 point favorite. They beat Texas Tech on the road as a dog, beat Fresno and covered 19.5, beat Louisville. Lost to Duke, but still got the money as a 12.5 point dog and a 9-point loss. Arkansas really a great defensive team on the perimeter. And Houston, they're nothing special offensively. We know that. We know what their specialty is. So you got to wonder here. The total at 144. Let's see what you got here in this matchup. Another good one here with Arkansas just on a roll with these 6 straight covers right now. Houston against SEC teams, not traditionally that good against the spread or straight up for that matter. Both teams, though, kind of starting to show some overs of late. But, man, it just seems like because of that defense, I think I just better take Arkansas here plus the points. Give me the Hogs on neutral court here against the Cougars. I'm going to take Arkansas. Greg's liking Arkansas here. Plus the points. He likes them to win, I think, is what he's saying. But he wants to give him a chance. Hogs for Zach. Mr. 4600's on the under. Yeah, Greg says, let's do it. Arkansas's money. Let's take them. Let's take them on the money line maybe there, huh? All right. Okay, let's see. What do I have? 2 more. It's a nice college card going on. I know Mr. Weskers wants more, but come on. We've got NFL going on at the same time. We've got the big college football games. We'll pay attention to all the games. I'm going to have a package of college plays. We've got to attack this college card. Arkansas for Mr. Weskers. Okay. How did Timmy Two Shoes know that Purdue was the next game that we're going to do? Mr. Weskers, we're going to interrupt this program to go to the NHL. Greg says Arkansas is underrated. How did Timmy Two Shoes know that Purdue was in there? Whoops. How did he know that we spelt it wrong? More mistakes from the producer. Man, you got to wonder here on the $60,000 subscriber juggernaut if I'll be able to make it to the next show. Auburn and Purdue. This one's also. This is the other game in Indianapolis here. So this is the old host some powerful teams in Indianapolis doubleheader of the season with Purdue. Big favorite here over Auburn is pretty darn good, right? Purdue here, though, ranked 6, 10-1 here, of course. Auburn's won 3 of their last 4, coming in 8-3 right now. They're ranked 21st. Auburn did beat Chattanooga last time out, did not cover, lost to U of A. One and covered against NC State, one and covered against St. John's, as we mentioned. Got blown out by Michigan, but who hasn't? Purdue, meanwhile, wins and covers over Minnesota and Marquette. They did lose that notable game to Iowa State at home by 23 points. Might have been an anomaly because they're winning and covering every other game, but usually as a considerable favorite. Here, they're still a considerable favorite, but they are taking on, SEC Auburn here. So that might be, certainly something that needs to be considered. We can hear from you in the chat with this great game here. Oops. Let's see what you have in this one. Sorry, fam. Here we go. I'll make my pick here. That's a big spread. Says Jimmy Two Shoes, right? I mean, come on. It's not like, it is a semi-home game. Auburn obviously is used to, going out and playing in games such as this, and they've already had some pretty good performances, but they, whatever reason, like they just lost to Arizona as an 11-point dog. Auburn here, says Mr. Wesker. Does he think the line's just a little bit, it's too much to ask? Zach's on the Tigers here. Greg says Purdue, but only by 7 there, and it is 8.5 here. Auburn's a big time over so far this season. Purdue, they're under. I mean, it's a clash of styles there. The two teams did meet last year, though, at Auburn, 87-69. Auburn got the money as a 10.5-point favorite, winning by 18. So Purdue, look, are they any worse than that? Are they any worse? Are they any better? Obviously, they're still, I won't say just as good. It might be a little bit of a different type of team, obviously, given the the losses, but they still are coming out here like gangbusters right now. But Auburn, decently solid. All right. Let me go to the chat, though, with this one and see what you guys have here. Greg says Auburn beat Duke last year. Yeah, I hear you. Zach was on the Tigers there. Did we get it all? Did we get it all right? Okay, give me Auburn. I'm going to take Auburn here with this one. You like them. I like them to stay in here against Purdue. Okay, one more. Now Greg mentioned Duke. Timmy says got to come down to the free throws maybe at the end, huh? All right, let's go with Duke. Let's mention Duke here. It's our last game of the night. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Duke comes in here now 11-0, of course, ranked number 3. Texas Tech 8-3. They've fallen to 19th here currently after they lost that game to Arkansas at home, but they did bounce back against Northern Colorado. They're still not a great cover. 3-8 against the spread. 0-2 against the spread as a dog are the Raiders. Duke, meanwhile, 7-4 with their 11-0 record, 4-2 ATS as a favorite. Duke 2-9 to the under so far this season. 0-6 to the under as a favorite. This one's in New York, by the way. Duke's second home. Texas Tech 0-2 to the under as a dog. So let's see what you have, though, here with these two. Duke, recent wins over Lipscomb, did not cover. They did cover against Michigan State, failed to cover against Florida. Got to mention Olivier Roux in there with the dunk of the year. I mean, 7'6", he looks so awkward, can't even dunk right. That was cool, though. Good to see him in there. I hope it works out. Hopefully you can work that 7'6" frame into a college athlete. Arkansas, they did not cover. Howard, they did not cover. Duke's been laying just too many points for the most part. That's just of late, though. I mean, really, remember they were, I think they were 6-0 against the spread to start the season. But the schedule has got a little bit tougher. You got to wonder about that. And when you're laying here 9.5 points, it is still kind of a neutral. It's not like the guns up are going to be there in MSG, but they will be there for Duke. Anything in the chat from you guys here? Let's see. Can't Texas Tech cover, says Timmy Two Shoes. All right. I guess that's it from the chat. I guess that's it from the chat in this one. Not too much, huh? Both teams are kind of, I don't know, it just seems like the defensive efficiency, if you know what I mean, when you get into those metrics that I like to look at on the KenPom site. That's what I like to look at, is those numbers. And I think it goes under because of that. Not just Duke is a total under so far. Teams met 3 years ago in the postseason. It was 78-73. Duke won it. I'm going under here with Texas Tech and Duke at MSG on Saturday. All right. Take the points with Texas Tech, says Zach. It's a good picture, Zach. Too much boozer. Man, does anybody have him in the chat for a player of the year? Duke by a point, take it down to 8. Is that what that means, Caldog? All right. Well, we're going to go to it right now, Mr. Weskers, because you love it. We've got to get to the hockey tonight. It's hockey night. And we've got a huge card, man. Stick around. We'll cover it quickly. I know it's getting. If you're here with me now, and hey, we've only got our biggest audience here of the entire history of the show. So why not? We probably should go back and do the football all over again. Thank you to everyone in the chat right now. We're pushing up towards 135 lives here at nearly 5 in the morning Eastern time, 2 a.m. Pacific here, just 10 minutes away. This is what we do every night on Night Moves. Make sure you're joining me here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel and head on over to Tony'sPicks.com. This is where you'll find our premium picks every day from our team of handicappers. You can check out the handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot. All of our picks are fully documented. We go up against some of the toughest lines in the world. I can tell you that for a fact, as we are presented the lines and look at some of our handicappers with some great records here right now, including some of my friends here on the charts, including Ron Crawford, Justin McKelvey up there, Al Ninos as well. There's Tony T, Jorge Gonzalez representing us here in Las Vegas. Vegas Al with his great show every night precedes us here on the air. Ron Crawford as well. Mr. Higgs on the board from yesterday. So check us out here at Tony'sPicks.com. You can click the All Cappers tab, find the handicapper of your choice, click on their handicapper profile page, and that's how you get signed up. I was able to bring home a couple of winners here on Friday night. Winners included Hawks and the Spurs under, Florida State, and Kennesaw and Western Michigan game to go under. Hopefully that one got home. So check us out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 15% off all premium pick packages, including mine, here on Saturday. I'm going to go big time into college basketball, but we got to go to hockey next here on Night Moves. We got a lot of games to talk about, and we're not going to talk about them for very long. Let's start off, though, with the Philadelphia Flyers here at the New York Rangers. Rangers are favored at home, so we know what to do, right? We're supposed to fade the Rangers at home and take them on the road. Well, do we want to do that here against the Flyers? Flyers aren't exactly playing too well here of late. Rangers at least came in off of a win over St. Louis, 2-1 a couple of nights ago to snap a 2-game losing streak. Meanwhile, for Philadelphia, they finally earned a win over Montreal, then lost to Buffalo. Flyers are struggling a bit here all of a sudden. They are a dog here to the Rangers. These two teams haven't met yet so far this season. Rangers have been one of the biggest the biggest under teams in the league so far. They're going under 33% of their games so far this season. They're also 3-14 to the under at home this season. Now, Philadelphia is 14-10 to the over as a dog. And this one is at 12:37 Eastern, 9:37 Pacific time. So it's an afternoon contest here on Saturday with Philadelphia and the Rangers here. So I don't know if that's anything to consider necessarily with this matchup, but just letting you know. Both teams, though, heavy to the under here. I'm showing, we'll see in the goalies, but Vladar and Shesterkin here is what I'm showing. You just recheck the goalie computer here and see if we have anything to know of note here yet. Last season, Philly won. Let's see here at the Rangers. Last time they played 8-5. Vladar 2.41 goals against. Igor 2.49 goals against coming into this one. Philadelphia is just 4-11 straight up in its last 15 against the Rangers, but again, the Rangers just don't play that well at home right now. That's their big bugaboo. They're 4-10 straight up at home, and the Flyers are 7-5 on the road. So I'm going to take the under in this one. Just stay away from the side because, like Mr. Wesker said, sometimes you just don't know. But some of our guys in the chat might know, like Timothy Hawk, who likes the Flyers here. Greg says 3-2 Flyers. Timmy says got to play the Rangers. They're got to win one of these times, right? Here's Zach on the under with me, and Timmy Choo-Choo's got his props out there for this one. Next up, the Red Wings are at the Caps here, also at 12:37 Eastern and 9:37 Pacific. Pretty good matchup here. Detroit, winners of 2 of their last 3. They're 19-13-3. Coming in, though, off of a loss at home against Utah, 4-1. Before that, they did beat Chicago and beat the Islanders. Detroit's 9-6 on the road this year, although 8-8 as an underdog. Washington, meanwhile, 11-5 at home, 15-8 as a favorite this season. They've been getting it done. They did have a 3-game losing streak, but snapped out a bit last time out with a win over Toronto 4-0. Still a pretty big favorite here in this one. First meeting of the season between these two teams. Washington's been kind of an under team, 7-11 to the under at home. The under is hitting Detroit 5 of their last 6, and for the last 5 here for Washington. Caps are 5-1 straight up at home in their last 6, and 4-1 at home against Detroit. But I'm not going to stiff you on a 155. Let me go with the under here in this one, another under. with Detroit and Washington. I'd probably lean to the favorite there, but that's a pretty big number to give out on the show. And, Detroit obviously doing pretty well here of late. Washington, I don't know about that losing streak, but they did score only 3 goals in those 3 games. They've been having trouble offensively, but they got the shutout last time out. They've done well in this series. All right, let's see here with Detroit for, hey, Red Wings. Hi, Red Wings. That's great to have Red Wings in here. And he says it's Players' Mom's Day, taking the moms on the road trip here. So they'll be looking to play well. Greg says, what are the moms are like? Anybody have that mom in junior hockey, right? Yell at the referees, get kicked out of the ice rink. Poor Red Wings going to the Capitals buzzsaw, says Timmy. Thinks that Washington poised for a win. Oh, the price is so big, isn't it? Timothy says under here. Zach's on the Red Wings. Cal dog under. All right, next up. Blackhawks on the road here taking on the Senators. Chicago coming in here. Hey, they've lost 4 straight here all of a sudden, giving away those good wins there, 13, 15, and 3 now. I'm sorry, and 6 now. Ottawa with 2 straight wins. They're 16, 13, and 4. And they beat Winnipeg as a dog. They shut out Pittsburgh. We had the puck line the other night there for Ottawa over Pittsburgh. They've been playing pretty well here of late, has Ottawa. They did lose to Minnesota, but they did beat Columbus. Chicago, though, meanwhile, 3 straight losses. Really haven't looked that good. Just 13-9 as a dog. But Ottawa, a troubling 11-12 as a favorite, 7-6 at home overall. Ottawa with back-to-back wins, as we said there, but still Ottawa here 250. So Ottawa 6-17 is a puck line favorite. Meanwhile, the Blackhawks 24-8 as a puck line dog. Again, I know a lot of people are saying that the games are producing. Let me get the banner up here. Where'd it go? That the games are producing, some games producing one-sided or blowout games, but it happened again last night. I mean, look at what was the Jets, right? Got the money even against the Avalanche, and teams are just able to stay in. It's a pretty good product, this NHL, Mr. Weskers. The games are close almost all the time, it seems like, or the teams will come back. And like I said, you do have a Chicago team that at least does cover some puck lines, and Ottawa not so much. But still, might be tough to swallow a little bit with this losing streak right now for Chicago. And once you think they're getting going, they kind of start to give some back. Then they go on a winning streak again. Chicago's gone under in 5 straight games. It seems like that's the way Ottawa's starting to trend, even though they are 13-10 to the over as a favorite. Chicago is 14-18 to the under as a dog. Despite all these woes, Chicago has won 13 of the last 15 meetings against these Senators. 13-2, last 15 straight up. I think we better take Chicago here on the puck line in this one. In fact, I will mention, though, the 2 wins have come in the last 4 games. Before that, it was an 11-game winning streak for Chicago over Ottawa, but Ottawa won a couple of games over the last 2 seasons. They did meet once this season. Chicago won at home 7-3. 7-3. All right. Chicago for Zach. Senators for Timothy Hawk. Ottawa in regulation here for Red Wings. Great to have Red Wings here in the chat, and got that little cutie there in the picture. Is it my cookie? I don't have a cat. Are there a lot of obnoxious cat food songs that make sure they don't smell too? Those are bad commercials, and there's too many of them. Is it just me? Because I watch only sports, and I see that commercial. Is it just my YouTube cookies, or does everybody see the commercial with the weird songs and the cat litter? Am I crazy here on Night Moves? Am I about to get taken off the air? All right, here we go. Senators are on one, Timmy says. Greg says 3-2 here. I don't talk to anybody outside of you guys in the chat, so I can only ask you guys. Let's see here. Cow Dog under, or maybe take the goal and a half. Timothy likes that the Hawks are says the Hawks losing streak might get snapped. Is that what? Hello to, hey, want to say hello to Hector Numba. I don't even know if that's a name or if that, I just like it. It looks like Hector. Obviously, it's not the usual name of Hector, so maybe it could have something to do with 8. And then Numba is kind of like a slang there on the end. I don't know what's going on, Hector, but I really appreciate you being here. I'm chasing the price, though. I might be, right? Because we're taking the Blackhawks here at plus 1.5. And what are they, minus $1.20 or something? And I hate to do that, but I think they might be worth hanging in here. Minus $1.25. I'll do it. 4-1 Senators, says Greg. There's Kwame Adobe. Nice to see Kwame Adobe in the chat. Kwame, good to see you, man. Hey, I went 14-3 in the last 2 days in the NBA, picking every game here on the show. Hector says, just because the price is cheap means to risk it. Yeah, maybe. Good to have you, Hector. Okay. All right, and now I got you guys off the rails in the chat. Let me go to the next game. Here come the Oilers. Is Picard really in there here in this one? That's what we hear. I don't know. Gibby is the only one confirmed for the Red Wings. Did I even have him in there? Yeah, we did. Oh, Gus is in there for the Wild. We haven't got to that one yet. Okay, here we go with this one. We're only a couple games in. Gus is in here for the Wild. Gus is 11-8-3, 2.49 goals against, 91% save percentage. Minnesota's been pretty darn hot here lately. They're now 21-9-5. Edmonton still 17-12-6, looking pretty good. As Minnesota's won 6 straight, they'll look to Gus. So this time, it's coming off his 3rd shutout of the season. They beat Washington 5-0, and then they came back with Wallstedt. They beat Columbus 5-2. Minnesota's hot. They're one of the hottest teams going, but hey, Edmonton not so bad either. They lost to Montreal, but then they beat Pittsburgh and Boston. They've been winning by a considerable margin here too of late in some of these games. Edmonton's starting to play pretty well. I don't know if it has to do with the trade. You don't want to think that necessarily, but looking pretty good here of late are the Oilers right now. See what you guys have, though, here in this one with Edmonton at Minnesota. Minnesota has won 8 of their last 9 at home, and they do own this series against the Oilers, winning 12 of the last 16 meetings. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two in Minnesota have gone over, and Edmonton has been a big-time over when they're an underdog, 6-1 to the over so far this season. Maybe the goaltending change could make you rethink it a little bit. But Minnesota here with coming off that 5-2. Let's see. I want to say they were going over for the most part, but they do have a few unders mixed in. I guess that Washington game went under. The win against Ottawa 3-2 obviously went under. but they put up so many goals here in some of these games, man. Minnesota is scoring a lot. I'm going to take the Wild here over the Oilers, but I recognize the Oilers seem to be playing pretty well here again right now. Winning back-to-back road games as well. 3 of 4 on the road at Toronto as well. See what the chat's all over this one, it looks like. Oilers for Mr. Weskers. He's been keeping an eye on him, and maybe that trade is what's going to get him over the top. Oilers and Wild is a toss-up, says Hector Numba. I like that, man. I like Hector. Because it could be like number 8. It could be a number 8, Hector Numba. But it'd be an A in there. Okay, here's Greg says 4-3 Wild. Timmy says McDavid can get a goal in this one. Zach's on the Oilers. Wild suffocates you, and the Oilers have McDavid, so it can go either way. Yeah, you're right, Hector. Man, the Wild's been just great. Wild and Gus for Cal Dog. Timothy's on the Wild. Minnesota's making, could it be Colorado, Minnesota? Who else? Edmonton, Kings, Vegas. Wow, the West is stacked. Okay, we're at the over here for Hector Numba. I like that, Hector. Right, Hector? We don't always need to go after those money lines a little bit. Good call. Want to say hello to Only Bands Company in the chat. Nice to see Only Bands Company in there. Only Bands, we did preview the football games, but I did go with Miami plus the points. Okay. We're done with this one. I'm taking the Wild. Can't go against them at home. Maybe I think what Cal Dog says. Next up, we've got the Islanders taking on the Sabres. Islanders here, 19-13-3, but they've lost 2 in a row here to Detroit and Vancouver. They're playing pretty well, but did lose at home to Bank. Buffalo, meanwhile, coming in, hey, 15-4-4. 15-14-4. They've won 4 straight here right now, have the Sabres. 3 of them on the road at Edmonton, Vancouver, and Seattle. Beat Minnesota. Good run here all of a sudden for Buffalo. And they are going to be a considerable favorite here, actually, at $1.50. Wow. Now, the Islanders are 6-10 to the under on the road. Buffalo's 7-10 to the under at home. The Islanders have gone actually under in 14 of their last 18 games, dating back to last season a little bit, and also 7 straight unders on the road right now. Buffalo's 5-2, their last 7 at home. New York just 1-7 in their last 8 games here in Buffalo. I know it's $1.50 here, and maybe I'll take Buffalo minus a goal. I think Buffalo money line is fine here on the show at minus $1.50. I'll take them, but if you want to get that price down a little bit, maybe in regulation, maybe you do take a -1. That's a pretty good dominance in that series for Buffalo. Here. In Buffalo, remember the Islanders did win they played at home last year. This is the first meeting between the two teams this season. The Islanders actually did win. The one game that they won here was last November, November of 24. They won 4-3. Before that, it was a 7-game losing streak. So, maybe they figured something out there too. But I'm going to take Buffalo here right now. Over the Islanders. I'll do $1.50 here on the show. It is a free pick show after all. I know we were just talking about chasing those money lines, huh? Okay, let's go here to Islanders for Timmy Tushu. Sabres for Only Bands. Thank you, Only Bands. Nice to have you commenting. Kwame, nice to have you there. And let's see. Islanders for Timmy Tushu. Hector says Islanders 100% wins. And the Canucks won those games against the New York teams, he says. Islanders will be mad, ready to go. Islanders +1 there for Red Wings. Greg likes Buffalo to win at 4-3. And Zach says Sabres at home. Both have horrible goalies. Horrible goalies in for this one. Yeah, got Rittich in here. Like I said, I haven't been great with the goalies this year, but Rittich is actually confirmed in this game. He's 7-3-1, 2.59 goals against, 90.5% save percentage. So got to give him a little bit of credit. Buffalo very inconsistent, but they can score. Timothy likes the Isles. Isles tie, no bet for Timmy Tushu. Only man says maybe the under here in this one, right? Maybe the way that I described it there a little bit with the Islanders. I mean, they've been hardcore under, that's for sure. And also under on the road big time, it feels like. And if it is 6.5, let me look at that. Good call there, actually, to take note of that. I think it's, the fact that it is 6.5 is something really to consider here. Okay. Thank you, Hector. Great job there. Isles there for Timmy. Do you like the over? And I don't think I do, Kwame. I think I'm gonna think the under, don't you? Hector likes the under. Oh, he likes it if it's under 5.5. Well, it's 6.5 for sure. 6.5 under. Timmy says Rittich is good. He's shown flashes in his career. I mean, I'm a former Kings fan, so I know what he brings to the table a little bit. Only man says this one gets to 3-3. You know what happens then? Hector says, watching those games matter. No doubt about it. Kwame, Islanders first period. They've been strong coming out in the first period. Greg says Buffalo in overtime. Hector says it might go overtime. Great comments from the chat tonight. Making this show. You know what? I'll tell you, first few months we did the show, first few weeks, it was like, hey, no chat makes it hard. With you guys commenting, I get so excited here, and we've got such a great crowd. 12 dozen of you watching right now for an all-time record here on Night Moves, and we're in the middle of just your average NHL Saturday night card here. Wow, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate it. St. Louis taking on the Panthers here, the Red Hot Panthers, and we've been rolling with the Panthers, right? Look, I'm on the Panthers to win the Stanley Cup. Now, again, I knew the injuries coming in, and they're not going to get fully healthy ever. But still, the Panthers and the Eastern Conference is a little bit different than the Western Conference. So we'll see. But I took them, before the season. They were pretty good price. But here they are. They've won 4 straight right now all of a sudden with Carolina, LA, Tampa Bay, and Dallas in their rearview mirror on a 4-game winning streak. St. Louis has been alternating wins and losses. They're off a 2-1 loss to the Rangers. Florida did play last night at home against Carolina in that 4-3 win. Florida's 12-5 at home so far this season, but only 14-13 as a favorite. They're 6-21 as a puck line favorite. Meanwhile, St. Louis is 16-4 as a puck line dog, and they are 11-9 as an underdog. Remember, we keep saying St. Louis is the worst favorite in the league, but as an underdog, they can get you the money. And here they might be just worth it there. The puck line's pretty high. I mean, I probably can't get too involved with it. I think, what is it, minus $1.75, I think, here. So, yeah, you're not going to do that. But you know what? Watch out. Watch out here. We've been riding Florida, but it feels like St. Louis is a pretty good price in this. This feels like the right scenario, if you know what I mean. St. Louis is just 6-14 to the under as a dog, and that's what they'll have to do. Hofer's in there, though, this time probably. I show Tarasov. It could be Bob in there for Florida, but I thought it was going to be Tarasov. So let me know what you think, though, in this one with the Blues and Panthers. I might be on the dog here, but maybe we'll just go to the total. St. Louis has gone under in 12 of its last 18 overall right now. Florida 7-1, their last 8, 4-1, their last 5 at home. We know St. Louis, the struggles do come on the road a little bit, but they're still only, I say only, 6, 7, and 4. 6, 7, and 2. Let me get it right. 6, 7, and 3. See, I was going off my memory, which isn't lasting as long as it used to. All right, see what you have here in this one, but seems like some unders with the Blues a lot of times. We are dealing with a 5.5 here, but let's go to the chat. You guys are on fire right now in the chat. All right. Hector coming off a great day there yesterday. Whoa. Oh, my notes just went a tumbling. Timothy's on the under. You think St. Louis could be the one to take the price here? Blues 1,000% now with no confidence, says Hector. Blues catch him after that Hurricanes game. There's Kwame. Gave him a 3. Give me a 3-pack. Kwame, I just have given out like 30 picks so far. Panthers went hard yesterday. Zach says, take Florida, even the back-to-back here. I don't know if I want to do that. Blues at those minus 81, 180 odds, or Blues money line for Hector in regulation. St. Louis, are they selling off? Are they in tankathon? And the Blues, it might be going with Jimmy says the Blues might be, or Mr. Westwood says the Blues might be just out of personnel here right now with all these guys out of the lineup. Everyone's going to hammer the Panthers today. Okay, Hector says they sometimes do get it done. Florida does lose the right. That is what I'm saying here. 5-1 only ban. Look at this. That's a prediction right there. Florida regulation for Zach. Hector says when he's against the Blues, I have a team like that. It's called the Flyers. Hector says 3-2 Blues, Red Wings, Florida in regulation. And let's see here. Dallas did back-to-backs don't matter. You know, I think it's supposedly built into the line. Some percentage of games, the back-to-back is going to win. You're just trying, what I say in hockey, you're trying to determine the human algorithm, right? There and price it in with the price. So I don't know. Maybe it feels like to me like this is the spot for St. Louis. I'm going to take St. Louis +1. I'm going to take St. Louis +1 goal in this one against Florida. That'll get the price down a little bit. Canucks at Bruins Saturday night, hockey night. Vancouver coming in 14, 17, and 3. Boston 20 and 15. How about Boston, huh? This is the NHL game here, NHL Network game tonight. Vancouver won those 3 New Jersey games in that sweep, of course, playing some of their best hockey of the season again right now. They're 10 and 7 straight up on the road. Boston, meanwhile, 12 and 6 straight up at home. Only the 4th time they've been favored all season. Vancouver's looking pretty sharp here all of a sudden. Vancouver with not only those wins over New Jersey, the Rangers, and the Islanders, they hung in there against Buffalo at home, losing 3-2. Boston lost to Edmonton at home last time out, 3-1, but they did win 3 of 4 before that, including victories over St. Louis, Winnipeg, and Utah. Boston 2-3 is a puck line favorite. Vancouver 16-10 is a puck line underdog here, but $1.55. Not going to sweat that too much here, it feels like. Still, for these two, Vancouver, they still have lost 12 of their last 18, and Boston has won 5 of their last 7. But that's a good run right now for Vancouver. You got to feel good for them here. Can they hang in there with Boston? Vancouver did win here last year, 2-0, believe it or not. although Boston returned the favor 5-1 a month later. Both teams kind of on under streaks, it feels like right now. Boston's gone under in 5 straight at home. They were 9-4 to the over at one point. Now they're 9-9, 9 up and 9 down to the total here in this one. So let's see in the chat. Vancouver feeling it right now. Can they keep the roll going? Okay. Timothy likes the Bruins, though. Hector says this is kind of an unknown. Bruins are better, but the Canucks are getting better, too. Pasta, 2 goals. Greg says 3-2. Hey, someone's got to come in here on Geeky. Is that you, Red Wings? Zach says the Bruins. And Geeky, Timmy said he knows. Timmy knows, right? And don't forget the big Hughes trade. What did Mike call him? Oh, man, I forget what he called him. Hector says this ain't a great game. Bruins should win. I think he says he doesn't like the price, right? I got to take Vancouver in this one to come in and get this win. Give me Vancouver against Boston. Give me the dog. Hector wouldn't put $1 here. You know, some sharps have to bet $1 because they get they get limited. Okay. I've seen it. You know, on that Juice Reel app. The pros, you know, they bet what they can. They sometimes bet $1 just because, you know, people check those picks out too. Okay, let's see here. Let's move on. I'm taking the dog. Penguins taking on the Canadians here on Saturday night. You got Pittsburgh coming in here 14-10-9. But what's happening, Pittsburgh? They can't stop the bleeding right now. Montreal comes in here alternating wins and losses. They're off of a win at home against Chicago, 4th game of the homestand here right now for Pittsburgh. A bad losing streak here all of a sudden. Man, Pittsburgh's lost 7 straight. They're just 3-6. I think they're 3-4 on the 3-4-2 on the road. Their last 9. Oh, can't. Anyway, Montreal's gone under in 4 of its last 5. Pittsburgh's offense has kind of been frigid here of late. They got shut out by Ottawa. I will say they did score. I take it back. They scored 13 goals in the 3 games against San Jose, Utah, and Edmonton, but they lost all those games. They continue to lose here right now. It's been a rough struggle for Pittsburgh, and you're going into placing a Montreal team that you used to dominate. Now Pittsburgh has lost the last 2 meetings, including just 9 days ago at Pittsburgh. Montreal came in and got a win 4-2. Montreal $1.40 here against the Pens. Let's see what you guys have in the chat here in this one. Montreal, of course, a heavy over team, 12-13 to the over. Pittsburgh 13-8 to the over as a dog. Montreal 12-7 to the over at home. And that's what we've seen. A lot of overs for the most part this season from Montreal. Just said, though, 4 of their last 5 have kind of gone back to the under, although I will say maybe that just had to do with they were, like I said, they played well in a few games, and then they get beat. They beat Chicago 4-1, lost to Pittsburgh, lost to Philadelphia 4-1, beat Edmonton 4-1, 3 straight 4-1 games. Okay, let me get the picks out here. I'm starting to get a little bit winded here after our 2.5 hour broadcast. Appreciate it, everybody. Greg here is on the Canadians. Timmy took the Penguins in a parlay as well. Hector says another toss-up. Ignore that last Penguins loss. It's the other 6 that we're concerned with. They have been scoring. Yeah, you're right. I stand corrected. I was just thinking of that shutout. Montreal in regulation, Habs for Timothy Hawk. I'm just going to go over here. I want to take Montreal. Maybe the price is, you know what? It's not a bad price. I should go with Montreal actually, $1.40. I'll take the over because I already spit it out. But you guys are probably right. Hector's on the Penguins though. He says Penguins money line. Look, they gotta win. They gotta win one here after losing 7 straight, right? I mean, uh, they've got a great power play. We know that, right? It's not going away. Montreal has problems defensively, that's for sure. I mean, they're nothing special, especially with these goaltenders. They can't stop anything. Oops. Who got me off this? Why am I talking about the Bruins? You see, I've lost my mind. I started talking about the Bruins game because someone in the chat said it. Now all of a sudden I'm talking the wrong game. All right, I'm taking the over with the Penguins and the Canadians here. Oh, I just have the wrong graphic up. Okay, there we go. Sorry, you guys. No wonder I got confused there looking at the screen. All right, let's just get on. Let's just move on. Jeez. Almost done here. I could only do so many games. Maple Leafs and Predators. I love doing these games. Toronto's lost 3 of 4 coming in. Nashville's lost 2 of their last 3. For Toronto here, they got shut out by Washington last time out. Right now, Toronto just 5-8 on the road so far this season, despite being a couple games over 500. Nashville, though, dismal. 6-17 as an underdog this season. Wow. 8-9 at home at least. That's one way you could look at it. But still, you got here. Where does the graphic keep going to? Okay, we got the timer on. That's what it is. Too many bells and whistles here. Okay. Anyways, are we on the right game now with Toronto? Yeah. So Nashville 6-17 is an underdog this season. Yeah, they've been underdog in a lot of games. They're 13-6 and 16-4 overall, coming in off of a home loss to Carolina. Before that, they did beat St. Louis. They lost to Colorado on the road, 4-2, but had some nice wins of late. They're kind of improving a little bit here. We know everybody's kind of been down on them so far, but still in this matchup, you got to wonder how good they can actually be against this Toronto club. For Nashville, they are 4-2 at home against Toronto, seem to be a little bit better offensively. Meanwhile, Toronto has gone under in 7 of its last 8. 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two have gone under. We know Toronto's been a big time under, so a big time over this season. They're 13-6 to the over as a favorite. But like I said, I think they've definitely calmed it down here a little bit of late. I'm going to go under in this one with Toronto and Nashville. These two teams did meet back in October. It was 7-4. Toronto won at home. All right, here we go. Zach maybe likes the under here. Nashville for Hector. Also, Nashville for Timmy. Greg says he's on the Preds here. Nashville for Hector. He says too easy. Interesting to note. Thank you, Hector. Under for Timothy Hawk. Toronto almost lost to Chicago and Bedard was out. Mr. Westwood says, I always fade the Leafs. Hurricanes on the road, taking on the Lightning here in this one. Carolina on fire, 22-9-3, but did lose last time out to Florida 4-3. Tampa Bay, meanwhile, comes in with 3 straight losses to the Islanders, to Florida, to LA. Tampa Bay in a slump. Carolina here has 11-4 on the road this season. Tampa Bay just 8-9 at home. We're dealing with a near pick'em here right now. Look at this series overall. I mean, it's been always a Lightning pretty much, but Carolina did pick up a win last March against them, 4-1 at Carolina. But man, Toronto's kind of owned this series against, Tampa Bay. Sorry about that. Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has owned this series against Carolina for sure. Carolina is 5-1 in their last 6 here right now. They had won 5 straight, lost to Florida. Tampa Bay's dropped 7 of 9 actually coming in. They had lost, I think they lost 4 straight, then won 2 in a row. Now have lost 3 in a row. So they're struggling for sure. Unders come in Tampa Bay's 12 of their last 15 home games against this uh, Carolina team. A lot of unders when these two teams meet. I'm going to go ahead and take Carolina here to win this one on the road. And I expect them to be able to hold Tampa Bay down here in this one. See what you guys have. I'm starting to lose it here. Your Iron Man. All right. Red Wings will lean to Nashville. Cooch for a goal for Timmy. 3-2 Tampa, says Greg. Zach likes the over. Okay. Hurricanes, money line with a vengeance. Maybe even maybe with a puck line, I think is what he's saying. Canes, of course, missing Jarvis. Jarvis hit the post and he's out. Hector says, take a break, Ramon. No, we're not taking a break. We're going to take a break in July. Timothy says the Canes will win. Mr. Westers, thank you so much. Great job tonight. Wish I had a Krispy Kreme donut right now. All right, keep it going here. We're almost done. Kraken and the Sharks. Kraken come in here 12, 14, and 6. It's the Sharks that are 17, 15, and 13. Kraken have lost 4 straight right now. Utah, Buffalo, Colorado, Calgary. They're just 9 and 18 as an underdog. Oops. There we go. Sorry about that. Man, 2.5 hours, you guys. We're riding with a new record viewers here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel tonight. Thank you so much. Incredible to see Baker's dozen of over 150. I don't know. Here we go. Seattle in this one, 9 and 18 as a dog this season, just 5 and 7 on the road. San Jose 10 and 6 at home. These two teams did meet back twice in November, split a couple of games up at Climate Pledge. Sharks won 6-1. Then 10 days later, Seattle won 4-3. San Jose 15-4, and I mean they're great at, what can you say? They're great on the puck. This is the first time San Jose's been favored all year. I guess we better take them, huh? Can you believe it? I guess you could. It doesn't seem like it, right? With a record of 17, 15, and 3, and they've presented such great value this year. I mean, if you've been on San Jose up every time, you're up 9 2/3 units this season. Seattle's lost 10 of their last 11. San Jose's playing really solid here right now. How do you not take them at $1.15 in this one? 4 of the last 5 have gone over for San Jose. Seattle's 9 and 6 to the over on the road. Maybe the goals will come here in this one, but I'm going to go with San Jose. Seattle 5, 7, and 3 on the road. Give me the Sharks over the Kraken. San Jose is a circus, says Jimmy. Go over. Kraken money line, says Hector Numba. Greg 4-3. Kraken. Sharks win. Kraken terrible right now, says Timothy. Don't fade the Sharks, says Mr. Westers. Sharks for Zach Rossi. Timmy likes the Sharks. A lot of goals for Timmy. Greg says, I think the Kraken might win here. All right, good job, you guys. We're almost there. You guys have got me through it. Next up, Blue Jackets on the road here. God, kind of fix this ticker here right now. Blue Jackets on the road taking on the Ducks. The Ducks are starting to struggle a little bit. And the Jackets are also been losing here of late. Blue Jackets lost last time out to Minnesota. These two teams just met 5 days ago. 4-3. Anaheim got the win, but they were at home in that. They were at Columbus in that one, and Columbus got the win 4-3 over Anaheim at home. Columbus comes in here though, 6-18, has an underdog, but 7-8 on the road. Still Anaheim 11-5 at home this season, 6-4 as a favorite. But like I said, 11-5, pretty good at home, and you're laying pretty small, slight number here. Yes, Anaheim has been given some back, but they lost to Dallas. Following the loss at Columbus, they did beat the Rangers at the Rangers. We had Anaheim in that game. They lost at New Jersey. They lost at the Islanders. They were on the road. They're still a pretty strong team with a good record here. I know the Sharps are going to be on Columbus here, but I don't know if I can do it. It's time for the Ducks to get back in the win column, isn't it? Columbus is 3-11 against Anaheim in the last 14, 1-5 here in Anaheim. I'm going to take Anaheim. Both teams have been going over, especially the Ducks at home, man. Ducks as a favorite are 9-1 to the over. They're 11-5 to the over at home. So maybe it will be an over here, but let me take the Ducks in this one. They really they only meet twice a year. That 3-11 record dates back like 7 years, but I'm going to take the Ducks. Zach likes the Ducks. And let's see here. Over for Hector. He says no defense. There are going to be 10 goals in this one with Columbus and Anaheim tonight. Yeah, these Anaheim home games, especially in a game that they're not overmatched in. Timothy likes the Ducks here. And Jackets get Marchmont. And Red Wings likes the Ducks. Okay, I'm going to take the Ducks in this one. Let's go one more. Whew. Golden Knights and Flames here with BGK coming in 16-6-10. Calgary 14-17-4. Oh man. Sorry, gang. We're really having a little bit of technical issue with the graphic here. I'll fix it though. There we go. All right. BGK's won 2 of their last 3 coming in. Wins over Philadelphia and Columbus. Lost to New Jersey last time out, but they're well rested here. Still great team on the road. One of the best in the league, 9-2-5. Calgary, a steady home team, 8-5-2. They're coming in off of a win here, 4-2 over Seattle. Vegas owns the series, no doubt about it, but Calgary did win here last April, 5-4. Still for Vegas here, they've won 5 of the last 6 meetings against the Flames. Both teams are going pretty heavy to the under here of late, especially Calgary of late. Still Vegas 6-10 to the under on the road, but Calgary is 16-10 to the over as an underdog. Vegas just $1.30 here on the road with a very, very strong record against a pretty weak opponent. Calgary just 9-17 as an underdog. Vegas already won here this year 4-2, and they won at home 6-1. It is a series that they kind of dominate. I'm going to go ahead and take my Golden Knights here on the road at $1.30. Take Vegas, and the show's over. LVK for Red Wing. He likes the Knights. BGK under 4, Zach. Hector says the Flames will burn you, but take them. Wait, Flames been burning everyone. I rode with them the offer last streak besides the Kraken, but the Flames money line, don't think about it. Timothy says under here. Is Kadri trying to get traded? Hector says 5-3 Flames. And he says they're burning me. I'm burning for you. Here's Stone with a goal for Timmy Two Shoes. All right. All right, that's going to do it for Night Moves. Thanks, everybody. That was a great show. I hope we previewed all the games that you were interested in here. We even covered the FCS playoffs, so should have been a pretty good show. I got to get out of here, though, man. What a show. Hey, go over to Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 15%. I have my college basketball plays ready to go right now. Just got to load them up. So make sure you get over there. I'm going to have a big day in college basketball. I'll be firing college basketball here on Saturday. It's going to do it for Night Moves. Really appreciate it. We'll be back with you tomorrow for a great NFL Sunday. Man, I wish I could hang 150 of you here joining me right now. I should stay here and hang out with you guys. A record show here, just on a random, well, I'll say random, but we have the great football games, but you guys stuck all the way through, so really appreciate it. Wow, just terrific. Join me over at Tony'sPicks.com. Pick up my 3-pack of top-rated winners for the action here on Saturday. And for Tony'sPicks.com, I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Night Moves.